Ambassador Zethrak's crystalline form shimmered with anticipation as he entered the Grand Council chamber. Today would be the day the Galactic Council finally put an end to the Terrans' reckless scientific pursuits. The motion had been months in the making, carefully crafted by the most conservative species in the galaxy. Order! Order! The presiding chancellor's voice boomed across the amphitheater. Representatives from 47 species settled into their designated zones, some floating in repulsor fields, others submerged in specialized atmospheric tanks. Today we address Motion 7751 Omega, the immediate cessation of unrestricted Terran. Scientific research, the Chancellor announced. A holographic display materialized showing documentation of humanity's recent infractions. Zethrak rose first, his people's natural bioluminescence pulsing with righteous indignation. Honored colleagues, for 3 decades we have watched the Terrans violate every principle of safe science. They experiment with unstable quantum matrices. They manipulate dark matter with primitive equipment. They've even attempted to weaponize their own star. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the assembly. The Valdorian representative's tentacles writhed nervously. Just last week we detected them creating artificial black holes for energy research. This is madness. They call it innovation, scoffed the Nexian delegate, her 6 eyes blinking in sequence. We call it a galactic threat. Dr. Sarah Chen, Earth's representative, sat quietly in the human section. Her modest business suit seemed almost quaint among the elaborate biological and technological displays of her alien colleagues. She made notes on an archaic paper tablet, a sight that never failed to amuse other species. The motion is simple, continued Zethrak. All Terran research facilities will be placed under Council oversight. No experiments exceeding Class 2 energy levels. No manipulation of spacetime. No research into consciousness transfer or AI beyond approved parameters. The humans will finally be civilized. The vote was called. Species after species registered their approval. 45 in favor. 1 abstention from the notoriously neutral, Greys. Dr. Chen stood slowly. I appreciate the Council's concern for galactic safety, she began, her voice calm. However, I'm afraid there's been a fundamental misunderstanding about human scientific methodology. Zethrak's form brightened, with smugness. Dr. Chen, the vote is complete. Your species will comply or face sanctions. You see, Dr. Chen continued, tapping her tablet. The Council seems to believe that restricting our research facilities will somehow limit human scientific progress. She pressed a button on her communicator. Instantly, holographic displays materialized throughout the chamber. Not the Council's official projectors, but Dr. Chen's personal device overriding the entire system with laughable ease. These are live feeds from Earth, she explained as shocked gasps filled the chamber. Would you like to know where humanity actually conducts its research? The first image showed a teenager in Mumbai working on quantum calculations in her bedroom, using equipment she'd built from recycled electronics. The second displayed a retired professor in São Paulo, who had just achieved room temperature fusion in his garage. The third revealed a group of children in Lagos, who had accidentally discovered a new form of matter while trying to build a better water purifier. You see, honored delegates, you've made the classic mistake of assuming we centralize our science, Dr. Chen said, her tone remaining perfectly pleasant. On Earth, every human is a potential scientist. Every garage is a potential laboratory. Every curious mind is a research facility. Zethrak's luminescence flickered with confusion. Impossible. Proper science requires massive institutions, peer review, safety protocols. Oh, we have those too, Dr. Chen interrupted, cycling through images of massive corporate labs, university, research centers, and government facilities. But you can't restrict human curiosity any more than you can restrict human breathing. Both are involuntary biological functions. The chamber erupted in alarmed chatter as more images appeared. Grandmother in rural Canada, who had solved protein folding in her spare time. A coffee shop barista who had discovered a new principle of anti-gravity while doodling equations on napkins. Twin sisters in Antarctica, who had created a stable wormhole in their ice fishing hut. The motion to restrict our official research facilities? Dr. Chen smiled. Already implemented, actually. 3 minutes ago, we shut down every government and corporate lab on Earth. Voluntarily. Panic spread through the assembly. If the humans had shut down their research facilities in compliance, why was she smiling? However, Dr. Chen continued, in that same 3 minutes, approximately 4 billion humans opened their personal research projects. The baker who's been working on temporal mechanics between bread batches, the janitor who's been experimenting with dimensional physics during night shifts, the insurance salesman who's been developing FTL communication using his lunch breaks. The holographic display now showed Earth from orbit. Millions of tiny energy signatures sparkled across the planet's surface like stars, each representing an active experiment. You wanted to restrict Terran science to Class 2 energy levels? Dr. Chen chuckled. I'm afraid that ship has sailed. Jimmy Henderson in Detroit just achieved Class 7 in his basement 15 seconds ago. He's 12 years old and he was trying to improve his video game console. Zethrak's form began pulsing erratically. This is chaos. Where are your safety protocols? Your oversight committees? Oh, we have those too, Dr. Chen replied. Sarah Martinez in Phoenix just invented a new safety protocol that's 17 times more effective than council standards. She was inspired by watching her cat avoid her experimental gravity well. And the Peterson family in Norway formed their own oversight committee to monitor their children's interdimensional research project. The Nexian delegates' 6 eyes had gone wide with horror. How do you maintain any control? How do you prevent disasters? The same way we've always prevented them, Dr. Chen said, finally allowing her smile to grow wider. We make mistakes faster than anyone else, learn from them quicker, and improve our solutions before lunch. By the time you've formed a committee to discuss potential problems, we've already solved them and moved on to more interesting challenges. A new alert chimed on the holographic display. Dr. Chen glanced at it casually. Oh, wonderful. The Johnson twins just solved the energy crisis, using nothing but solar panels and sheer stubbornness. That's always nice to see on a Thursday. Chancellor's voice cracked slightly. Dr. Chen, what would it take for humanity to voluntarily restrict its research to safe parameters? Dr. Chen appeared to consider this seriously. Well, you'd need to find something more interesting than the unknown, something more compelling than the impossible, something more exciting than the question, what if? She paused, looking around the silent chamber. So, essentially, you'd need to find a way to make us not human anymore. The motion to restrict Terran scientific research was quietly withdrawn. The Council never attempted such legislation again. Instead, they invested heavily in insurance.